Hello to you, and thank you for watching. I'm just here at this moment to just sort of give my initial reactions to Netflix's newest Marvel show, Iron Fist. My initial reaction after, well, technically not the first two episodes, more like one and some change, almost through the second one, is a big, now I'm quoting Tina Fey here. Yeah, it's not kind of quite the sort of dropping the ball, sort of tropey blurg fest that is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it sure as hell isn't Daredevil or Luke Cage either. Um, it's not even Jessica Jones, and I know some people are like, Jessica Jones, the greatest show. It's not. Daredevil, Luke Cage, better shows. Jessica Jones, not bad, but not the better of like those four, if you're counting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Carter is still going to be a little bit more of a special kind of thing. It's a little bit different. But yeah, the first couple episodes of Iron Fist, now maybe I'll put one out later if any of my opinion on this changes, or I feel the need to vomit on you about more vitriol. But it's pretty much like, I had my friend Dan actually said about the first episode I thought was pretty good, was that it was fairly directionless. My whole thing is, and I understand the argument that, hey, we could have had a person of Asian descent possibly play Danny Rand. Although my sort of critique of that is that, okay, so you're just assuming that the Asian guy knows Kung Fu. It's kind of, that's where we got, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We got May. Oh, the Asian lady is a cold, comes off as unfeeling martial arts dragon lady. Oh, because that's not the one thing Asian actors have been kind of allowed to do at all. My thing from the beginning is that you got the kid who plays Loras Tyrell from Game of Thrones. And I can almost guarantee the only reason they got Finn Jones, I believe his name is, because they can pull in the Game of Thrones numbers, right? You're not going to hit lightning twice with skinny British guys being martial arts badasses. Charlie Cox is an anomaly. But the cool thing with Daredevil is you can make him seem a little bit more of a brawler. He's kind of got that boxing thing. You can have him be a little more... You got Iron Fist now. He's got to be cream of the crop, real nice kung fu martial arts sort of person. Even if he's not someone who studied kung fu in real life, the actor, someone who studied martial arts for a long time, he had better be good. And this kid ain't good. A couple times they've shown him fight, he looks like he's just someone kind of going through motions. It looks like a practice session, a board practice session that you're just doing to kind of half-assed warm up between takes. There's no sort of anything with it at all. I judge martial arts competitions and I can tell when someone is half-assing and going through the motions and when there's some intent there. Charlie Cox had some intent going on there. Finn Jones, no intent whatsoever. It's just, yeah, whatever. All right, it's crap. So I'm annoyed with the fighting, which Iron Fist, come on, you got first two episodes, he's barely done anything. And maybe you want to really bring it and really make it pop later on. You know what happened in the second episode of Daredevil? That hallway scene, which was all one take in the first season of Daredevil. That was in the second episode. And it was Daredevil, this Iron Fist. You set the bar here with Daredevil and Luke Cage. Iron Fist ain't doing it in the second episode so far. Some things that annoy me. Besides that, okay, so, and I know a little bit of the comics. I'm not a huge, big, major fan of the comics or anything, but I know enough of the comics to be dangerous. So in the show, Danny Rand had the plane crash and his parents died, and he's, been in Kunlun, this magical, one of the 7 capitals of heaven, learning badass motherfucking kung fu, super spiritual stuff, all this other thing, and I know enough about Iron Fist to know that the Iron Fist power, I should say, to know that you're going to have to be pretty wuxia, center kind of thing in order to make that happen. Now, if he was 16, 17, maybe been in Kunlun for a couple years and then left his training early, sort of like Luke on Dagobah kind of thing, then I could understand the way he reacts. But he hasn't. He's some sort of super spiritual, badass warrior with the power of the, even in the show, quoted, immortal Iron Fist, and he's still acting like a 16, 17-year-old with trauma. Now, yes, he had some major trauma, but the Tai Chi instructor in me knows that you aren't making your energy and your chi and everything flow in the way that would be necessary to be the immortal Iron Fist, badass motherfucker in this lineage of badass motherfuckers, being able to make your hand glow and blow shit up, this ultimate weapon sort of thing, if you have blockages. And major trauma is going to have blockages. So when, even in the first episode, before he even gets to the psych ward and before any of the drugs, he's sitting there and having like a headache thing and weird, film sort of thing, blurgy line stuff and everything like that, and having trauma flashbacks, well, I can understand that if he was just sort of fucking around the world for those 15 years and never really dealt with it, I can understand that. But he spent the last 15 years in another dimension, capital of heaven, learning badass motherfucking martial arts, and he hadn't dealt with that? At no point was there any sort of trauma recovery. He's sitting there quoting Buddhist stuff, talking about the Buddha did this, and he's quoting all these other scriptures, and they're sitting there, and they didn't even teach him to sit right. I understand maybe his leg would have been kind of weird if he's sitting on the bed, doesn't have a cushion, but they showed him later on this mountain with the robes. He ain't sitting right there either. They couldn't even teach this kid to sit right for meditating. What makes you think the rest of it's going to be any good? So he's doing all this other stuff, supposed to be doing all this spiritual, badass, kung fu stuff and everything, and he didn't deal with his trauma. He's still having like headaches and weird flashbacks sort of stuff and everything like that. So here's someone who's supposed to be this highly, highly trained warrior, here to stop the hand apparently, because that's what we got to tie it all in with Daredevil and stuff, I'm guessing, for the Defenders. So they do that, and he doesn't know enough to be able to be like, all right, I need some shoes, I need a change of clothes before I just start wandering around New York like, oh fuck, I've never been here before. Oh, I just think that these people who haven't seen me in 15 years, one of which I know, this guy I grew up with, I know, who's older than me, is a sociopath. I know these things, and yet, I don't think to, shower, put on a pair of shoes, do something more than just sort of wander into the building, expect everyone to be fucking cool. They think I've been dead for 15 years. What kind of warrior does that? At what point in Sun Tzu's Art of War does it say, just be a fucking idiot? It doesn't. Sun Tzu cut the head off concubines of a concubine or two or three, I can't remember exactly how many, in order to prove a point to make these other concubines stand in line. It wasn't just wander around like a fucking idiot. And then he gets into the psych ward and all this other stuff. Okay, so he gets drugged by the Joy, the one woman, and he gets in the psych ward. Okay, even met it up. What would have been better to do? Hit the doctor's computer off the thing and yell and scream and have people hold you down? Or the orderlies come in, you take them out calmly, you move them down, you do any sort of stuff you got to do. You could probably take all those guys without actually really hurting them. Maybe take one of them in a nice little hold and be like, look, I am who I say I am, and watch. I did all this, no one's really hurt, and I'm done. If I was really as crazy as you think, would I have kept going? Or just left? Or not even gotten into that point to begin with? There's all sorts of stuff he could have done, and he's sitting there in there like a normal guy, or even 17, 18-year-old trauma, okay? Getting trauma, he had some trauma, that should have been dealt with. That should have been gotten over. He shouldn't have been able to open up his channels and meridians and get his chi and energy to move to be the Iron Fist to begin with. So here, it's just bugging me. The more I watch it, the more it's bugging me. That he's supposed to be this high, badass warrior, and he's acting like a dumbass kid. You spend 15 years in this immortal city, learning all this stuff, and you're still a dumbass kid. Right? I've been training for almost 18 years. Granted, I started at 19, not 10, but 19 after I already had all sorts of stuff that was already set in and having a problem with me. And in the past 18 years, I've been able to get over a lot of it. Even after 15 years, I was working through and did a whole lot of changing in my personality and my way of thinking and the way I even hold my body and everything else. So this kid was 10. So it was easier for him because he didn't have a lot of the same set patterns and struggles and stuff he was dealing with. He had a whole other set of things with his parents dying and traumatic thing. But that wasn't worked on in a hardcore spiritual badass martial arts temple. None of that got worked on. He's still running around acting like a 15, 16-year-old idiot. But he's supposed to be some warrior with the mortal iron fist sort of thing. It makes no sense. And then you got Faramir, whose hair still looks great, by the way, I guess, And then he's sitting, the guy who plays David Wenham, played Faramir in Lord of the Rings. I did think it was funny. He's talking about having like an abusive, controlling father in the show, and I'm just like, yeah, his name was Denethor. And Faramir sort of fell down in the world a little bit, but his hair still looks good. So I got to give him credit for that. It's just, I don't know. And then the girl who got playing Colleen Wing, I'm holding out hope for her, beyond the fact that she was one of the Sand Snakes in Game of Thrones, which was just one of the worst parts of how far that show has fallen. But what I don't get is she's training her students into like sneaky ninja attacker in the street, and then she beats them up and just like yells at them. She's not giving them any constructive information. She's not giving them any positive feedback. She's just bitching at them because she's got a bad day. I understand you want to make her maybe seem a little off, a little standoffish. She's trying to run her school and everything, but she's like a bitch to her students. She wouldn't be having those students. In New York, in this day and age, she wouldn't be having those students acting like that, especially if she's just starting up. She's just starting up and acting like a bitch to her students. Ain't no one going to stand around for that. This ain't 100, 150 years ago in China. No one's going to deal with that. So, like, that's annoying, too. The sociopath, older friend, son of the evil sort of, mysterious businessman. He's, okay, a whiny daddy's boy sociopath, whatever. All right, we'll see how he goes. His sister, whatever. I mean, they're both kind of, okay, whatever. Nothing's really standing out positively. Nothing's really standing out positively. I've already been talking for, I think my counter says almost 13 minutes about stuff that's standing out, but it isn't positive. So, and God damn it. They even showed him doing this even without the psychoactive drugs in the psych ward. But if he does one more fake-ass, wannabe Chen-style looking like David Duchovny pretending to be Jeff Goldblum on Saturday Night Live, Celebrity Jeopardy, weird, dumbass, shitty Chen-style crap, one more, I'm going to go Robert Baratheon on him. It's terrible. You couldn't get a martial arts guy in that? If you're going to have him do some sort of Chen-style looking thing, you couldn't teach him how to move his body? Like, seriously, I was getting flashbacks to David Duchovny pretending to be Jeff Goldblum on Saturday Night Live, Celebrity SNL, or Celebrity Jeopardy jokes and everything. Like, that's what he looked like. He even did the whole thing where he's... I don't even... He just does this. Oh, see, I messed up. I couldn't even copy him badly because I actually moved my hips. Because I know what I'm doing. Because I've been training in martial arts for almost 18 years. And not even in Kunlun, in fucking Cleveland. So not even 2 episodes in, and I've gone off for almost 15 minutes of how it's just annoying. And the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, the more I'm starting to kind of get annoyed with it. There was 1 or 2 kind of funny things, a couple funny kind of moments. That's about it. But again, I'm not even 2 episodes in. I'm going to keep going a little bit further. I had someone show me that one of the other, I guess maybe the 3rd episode or something is called like the 8 Changing Palm or something. So this could be either good or bad. So it could actually make me interested more, or it could piss me off even more, because one of the martial arts I do is Bagua. And Bagua is deceptively really fucking hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to even fake. You know, Taiji you can probably kind of fake a little bit. Xingyi you can probably fake a little bit, especially for a larger audience that might not know what they're going on. Bagua, no. None of them know spiritually or to me or anything like that anyway, but you can kind of make you fake it a little bit. No, not if you're M. Night Shyamalan and making an Avatar Last Airbender movie, you can't fake fuck all. But they might have been able to fake something if all they had to do was make him turn his hips a little bit and teach him pung. I mean, pung, ward off. It's like the damn first fucking thing I teach practically when I teach Tai Chi. I've got people who've been doing this for only a couple months who look better in their Tai Chi than he does, and he's supposed to be playing someone who's been doing this for 15 years. So if the next thing has some like really stupid shitty Bagua stuff in it, I might just be just done. I mean, I gritted through Jessica Jones because I did have some entertaining moments and some stuff like that, but that was really one note. This is barely even warming up. I mean, Jessica Jones was kind of one note. You know, Iron Fist is barely even filling the bag and the pipes before you even start playing a note at this point in time. So here's hoping that Iron Fist Season 1 gets better than the first 2 episodes. It can get worse, so I'm not going to sort of poison the well with that. But so far, I concur with the critics so far saying it was not good. So far, pretty much everything that I was hoping wouldn't happen is happening, and this was a shitty job casting. And see, because me, Finn Jones in there, I don't have anything against him. He was a good Loris Terrell, as far as Loris Terrell goes. But it showed me where they were at. It showed me where Marvel and Netflix were thinking in making this show. And so far, the first 2 episodes, I've been completely right. They got someone who's seemed to be kind of pretty. They figure since he's British, he can act. And they're trying to get that Game of Thrones name and money sort of stuff like that in there. Struck gold with Charlie Cox. You know, the guy who played Luke Cage. I really genuinely apologize. I forget his name at the moment. Because I still got that, oh man, they're going to fuck up Bagua in my head going on. You know, he started off really good in Jessica Jones, kind of went a little flat, but Luke Cage was amazing. You know, at least Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has Coulson in it. This is sort of... every scene. You know, and then he's... Oh, God, I'm going to go again because I just remembered a really stupid scene. So he finally gets the psychiatric doctor to realize who he is. And then he's stupid enough to be going in and still going on about Kunlun and other dimensions and stuff like that. At what point in time in your warrior training does it say, okay, well, when you got the guy in the hook, do something stupid? So in all the time in Kunlun, you had no like therapy or talking or dealing with your trauma, and they didn't teach you at all to not be a fucking idiot. And you're supposed to be the immortal Iron Fist, super badass motherfucking warrior against the hand, in another dimension, heaven capital? No. No. Bad choices all around. Poorly thought out, written, acted, executed. So far in 2 episodes, no good. So if I come back talking about Iron Fist, either it got really good or it got even worse. So we'll see. Thank you for watching, listening, dealing with me for ranting about this piece of crap for 20 minutes. Please do the usual, like, subscribe, share, send little Dove dark chocolate little package. Actually, don't do that because I've been eating too many of those damn things anyway, and I don't think my pancreas is going to be too happy with me if I eat any more. So yeah, send good chi to my spine because it hurts. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.